love. I have seen it deteriorate year after year, and I am committed to engaging the public voice and unity to say no more. City services are lacking, our school district is failing, and our elected leaders not only allow corruption to exist, but support it by not calling for a forensic audit of all Monroe County city and school district budgets and programs. To not respond to this request from the public makes you complicit in whatever criminal activity is taking place in your area, supported by tax dollars that I have to pay, or you'll take my home without care or concern, leave me homeless like so many others who have been foreclosed upon. I will do my duty as a citizen to make sure that anyone elected to serve the people of Rochester will do their duty as an elected official to hear and adhere to our voice. We, the people of the United States, are the government, and you are elected to serve us, not control us.
It's followed by Tracy Adams and then Joanne Nesbitt.
I would like to thank Miguel for his hard work, time, and effort in creating the report on good cause. However, we also need to see the same diligence in time. We hope that you will be amending and voting on the strongest version of good cause as you stated in the report on November 26th of this month. We value your efforts, but we require additional dedication to achieve the passing of the strongest version of good cause, and that is your vote on November 26th of this month. We acknowledge your progress. We would like to see more community involvement in the legislation, in the decision process for future legislation. We are looking forward to a unanimous vote for the strongest version that will protect 127,000 tenants in the Rochester community. We appreciate your current level of performance, but as I stated earlier, we need you to step up and take on every piece of legislation introduced by the mayor and his staff with the same authority. I like in the report where it is mentioned and stated to get it right the first time. This is your power. If it is in the best interest of the people you serve, let's get it right every time. We are grateful for giving us the recommendation of the best version of good cause. And again, we are asking that you take this, that you approve this and pass this legislation before the holidays. The worst thing that a family could deal with is becoming homeless during the holidays. So if you move quickly and diligently and pass it on November 26th, you'll be preventing families from being homeless during the holidays.
I just want to say that nobody wants to be evicted. You understand? From a person that was evicted once upon a time. And always remember, these people are working people that's falling short maybe on hard times. They're taxpayers, they're registered voters. You understand? And at the end of the day, they help put a lot of y'all where y'all at. So remember, they're my people, they're your people. They're our people in the community. Without them, none of y'all will be up here. So really take it into consideration. And also understand, during the Christmas holidays, they have the highest rate of suicide. We don't want nobody else to freeze or die, because if it happens, it's by your hands the decision you make. Thank you.
It's followed by Chrissy Miller.
Good evening. My name is Joanne, and I know what it is to be homeless. I am 70 years old, and I've been homeless with my kids. I have 5 children, and I can tell you, it plays an effect on behavior of humans and children. It causes them to react like they don't mean anything. And housing is a human right. You know, it's been 4 years I've been fighting this battle of eviction. You know, when you have big billionaires coming in here, putting up and reconstructing buildings and so forth, and not even caring about anything that isn't accurate in the homes, such as plumbing. We already have flooding, we have fire hazards, we have broken down elevators, we have people who are feel like they're nobody and trying to tell the landlord about policies and not holding up their part of the lease in the bill and our safety. It's very disturbing to know a handicapped person can't get out if there's a fire. When you have 17 floors and only one elevator working. This is ridiculous. So please pass good cause eviction. It's been 4 years now, and we need that passed yesterday. Our city is going to get worse and worse come winter time. Please pass it.
Christy Miller, followed by Maria Fabiano.
Hi, I'm Christy Miller. I am here with the office of child. I was under the my house. And I want to understand how I felt as a parent, feeling so lost, trying to figure out what's next. I was threatened by my landlord telling me that you have to get out or you're going to be evicted. Knowing that my house might be fixed, knowing that it had a lot of violations, knowing that me and my son was getting sick behind me. August 2nd, I was in the hospital due to stress when my landlord comes in and keep on constantly threatening me. I ended up getting my repentance removed because of all this. And that's not good. So please be in our shoes for a moment. Do you understand me? This property is no joke with these children out here, families out here that's suffering with no type of help. DSS is not helping at all. They're not paying people when they have gone to these hotels, the hotels to live. That's it. We done. What's next? How you want to pass it? We want you to pass this bill now. We are tired being tired. And we need to, y'all please need to help us get to where we need to be. And to help our children get out of poverty. Because it suffers them in the school system. And I've seen it constantly over and over again. When are y'all going to wake up and understand that we are suffering and we get tired being tired? Please pass this bill. Please be behind President Miguel. Because he is trying to push this for our families. Thank you.
Housing is a human right.
I have been a tenant in the City of Rochester since July 2021. I chose to move to the city because I saw so much that I loved when I attended undergrad in Monroe County and managed to get a ride into the city from a friend who owns a car. I applaud President Melendez for the dedication to investigating the cause of eviction and his support for it. City of Rochester's council now has the opportunity to show tenants that they are valued, heard, by standing by with me and so many other tenants in support of the strongest version of good cause eviction, and that it believes in people over profit. I encourage the City of Rochester to define a small landlord as one who owns one unit and to set the fair market value cap at 345%. If If the strongest version of good cause eviction does not pass in the city of Rochester, I will not have sufficient housing security. I could have no choice but to move back to Erie County to live with my parents. I'm not the only one who would be in this position, but I am extremely privileged that I have somewhere to go should I lose housing in the city. Far too many people have nowhere to go when they get evicted without housing.
He's followed by John Lindsay.
Hello, council and attendants here tonight. My name is Alex White, and one of the reasons is you all know that there's so many evictions going on is that the rent is too high. There's many reasons for this. The tax assessment we passed early in the year, the Fair Cloth Amendment, private equity firms buying up a fairly large fraction of all the housing stock in Rochester.
Yeah.
And projects like the Beechwood family apartments. This project is being built for $28.25 million, of which all but $2,750,000 is being provided by the public. You are throwing $1 million into this. It's a loan in which they'll only have to pay back 2% a year for the next 30 years with no principal ever paid back. They're also giving them a pilot agreement so that their taxes will be less than a quarter of 5% of what everyone else around them is paying. For apartments they're building for more than $500,000 an apartment, we are getting 12 apartments that are going to rent for $550 about, 18 apartments for $900, and 24 apartments for $1,050. We should be able to do better than this. This is not affordable housing for most Rochesterians except for 12 units. And because we're giving tax breaks, they're not making any effort to do this efficiently and pocketing as much money as they possibly can off us. Because, and I know this because townhouses are being built in Penfield right now for less than half of what this is being built for here in Rochester. And the land was way more expensive in Penfield per unit than it is here. So you are subsidizing higher rents here in Rochester in many ways. I'm asking you to please stop it. Thank you.
John Lindsay is followed by Thomas Swinghammer.
I'm John Lindsay. I'm a member of the City of Rochester Union. And I'm here to thank Miguel and the council for the consideration of the good cause, the good cause bill. And it's a multi-needed bill. The community is expecting the strongest version of this bill. However, the community would like transparency on what will be enacted on November 26th. And the community would like very much this transparency. Thank you.
Is followed by Eleanor Perez.
Hi, my name is Soames. I'm a current student at the University of Rochester as well as a resident of the 19th Ward. I'm here to express my support for the strongest possible version of the Good Cause Eviction Protection Bill, as has been called for in the report that was published last week. On the campus of the University of Rochester, there's a total housing shortage with too many students being admitted for the number of housing units, and that is forcing students to move off campus. A single student, let alone multiple students, is able to afford much higher rents than the City of Rochester average resident, and that is causing the standard rent price in the city to increase. I'm here voicing my support for Good Cause because it's the least I can do for the community, which has accepted me since I started my undergrad here. And it's the least I can do for the community, which is being needlessly damaged by the systemic failures of my own institution. Thank you.
Eleanor Perez is followed by Barbara Rivera.
Hi everyone, thanks for the chance for allowing me to speak today. I wanted to reiterate the support for good cause that everyone has said so far. I also want to say that I'm a mentor in the 19th ward, and so I, as everyone else says, have an interest in being able to support homeless, but I'm also a student. And as was mentioned, it is important to recognize the university's role in the housing problem. It is unfair that landlords can choose to market to students, and in doing so price out long-term residents. And it is unfair that landlords can take advantage of this large and desperate student population to raise these rents. It is unfair that landlords can expect high rents from all students when many of them are also low income and working 2 or 3 jobs on top of their studies. Thank you for all your work that has been done, but more work is needed. And I'm going to leave this with you, and I hope that this is the last key that you'll have to see. Thank you.
Years, a lot of us have been speaking nonstop about good cause and what it can do for the city residents in Rochester. I believe strongly that housing is a human right, and everyone deserves to say on how they should live. I want to say thank you to our forever champions, Stanley, Kim, and Mary. If our city council president was here today, I would say thank you, Miguel, as well for this report and acknowledging the need for good cause evictions. But my question is, when will it happen? When will Rochester join Albany, Kingston, Poughkeepsie, and Ithaca as the trailblazers who have seen what that bill can do for our tenants? If this clause doesn't get passed, we're going to see 35,000 tenants who will be at risk of losing their homes. That's a third of our community. That number is way too large to say that we don't have a housing crisis. We need this bill to keep people off the streets and in the homes. Ending homelessness starts with bills like Good Cause. Please pass Good Cause eviction.
Nora is followed by Robert McFarland.
Hi, my name is Nora, and I'm a student at U of R. I'm expressing my support for the strong version of Good Cause. My university has a housing shortage, and support students, including myself, move off campus. Student landlords are taking advantage of this situation and raising rents for ones that are affordable to students with 3 or 4 sources of income in one house. This is causing a crisis for many of my neighbors who only have 1 or 2 sources of income per house. I love living off campus and the opportunity it gives me to connect with the greater Rochester community, but this is causing forced displacement for so many families. Good Cause will alleviate some of this damage and prevent landlords from moving more rent payments. Thank you.
Robert is followed by Chris Schofield.
Hi, I hope I don't have to testify about this issue again here to speak on behalf of tenants, of which I myself. The heating system in the building I live in, I live on the 2nd floor of a house that has 2 units, rental units. I moved in 5 years ago. Each year that my lease is up for rent, I just have to pray that the property owner still continues to be an ethical property owner and not raise my rent more than 3%. Each time my lease has been up, that's how much it's been raised. But there's nothing to stop her from raising my rent to whatever, because she's in that loophole. You got to close that loophole and include, as Barbara Rivera said, the 35,000 tenants that are at risk of being out on the streets, displaced and homeless. So I'm urging you in Rochester to do what's right, do the right thing, so that we don't have more families displaced and out on the streets and homeless. You can do what's right here in Rochester. We don't have to wait for the federal government to do anything. It's out of their jurisdiction. The federal government's already totally skipped out on doing the ethical and moral thing in regards to
stopping the genocidal slaughter and displacement of a million people, over 1 million people in Gaza and Palestine. Do the right thing here in Rochester. I'm not going to yield my time. I'm going to demand that we have a moment of silence for the displaced families that have been displaced here in Rochester and the millions of families in the Middle East that have been displaced by Israel's genocidal slaughter.
Chris Jofel. Please followed by Larry Newman.
Hello. My name is Chris Jofel. I've lived in the city the past 10 years and been doing rental property and here in the suburbs. The past 4 years have been difficult for tenants and landlords alike. Rising costs, eviction moratoriums, lack of affordable housing, all issues that impact our community. My business partner and I have been providing housing for many families and individuals at below market rent, in many cases several $100s below, because these are all good, decent people and we like providing clean, safe living environments for people. Imposing good cause eviction could cause many landlords to stop investing in this city. Some are considering selling, some are considering turning these rentals into Airbnb so they don't have to worry about eviction. Inflation has been difficult for many housing providers. We have no control over things such as insurance, materials, labor, maintenance costs. Anyone who's needed a furnace fixed or a new furnace, new hot water tank, these things are very expensive. I understand City Council wants to protect tenants, but this isn't the way to do it. I think it could have unintended consequences. If a tenant is paying in a timely fashion and tidy, most landlords would have no reason that they could want to evict. And those things are still required under good cause eviction. If good cause eviction is passed, I think many rents will increase significantly before it's imposed. I think more landlords will focus on the suburbs, avoid rental property in the city. I think out-of-state private equity companies will become the primary landlords of the city. There's already one from California. You can't even call this company online only request. They have hundreds of properties here. A lot of them aren't up to code. I want City Council to understand not all landlords in the city are bad people. There's a lot of good people. Thank you very much.
Larry Newman is followed by Oscar Brewer.
How you doing? I'm Larry Newman. I pretty much echo what Chris just said. I taught him. I'm his mentor, and he does a good job. I've owned property in the city since 1993. I've got a lot of long-term tenants. My rents are basically probably $300–400 below market value in most of my properties. I'm not really for the good cause eviction, only because it's just another regulation. We've already had a lot of changes in Albany with the way that, when tenants don't pay and how evictions happen. Most of the evictions that are happening right now in city court are for non-payment issues. The problem with this that I have is if I do need to raise my rents a little above the cap because of expenses, that's a problem for me. And I know most of you on city council don't own property, never have, and probably don't understand what's involved. But the repairs and all the maintenance and everything that goes along with it is getting very expensive. Hot water heaters that used to be $200 are now $750 plus labor. So it's very hard to keep up with all the bills. Insurances keep going up, everything keeps going up, and I basically eat a lot of it. I raise my rents very, very little, and that's why I've kept tenants. I'm one of the fortunate ones during the COVID that got paid by every single one of them, and they're still all living in my properties. And I'm just against more regulations by government. You guys evict people out of houses for tax foreclosures for not paying because the city needs their money. Well, we need our money too.
Thank you.
And I do agree that rents have gotten a little ridiculous, but I don't think this is the way to solve it. I think there's better ways, possibly other things that can be done. I've listened to everybody in this room, and I know that they're all hurting, but it all sounds like everybody thinks they're gonna just stay in their houses if they don't pay, and that's not really the way it should be. Thank you for hearing me.
Oscar Moore, followed by Brian.
Good evening, City Council. Councilmember Lightfoot, thank you for being here tonight. First of all, I want to say congratulations. Come on, guys, give it up. The President of Government, right? For giving us what we've been asking for since I got into the housing scene. All right? So my daughter standing with me as my true champion. Highlight Councilmember Kim Smith, Councilmember Stanley Martin, and our friends around council, and Councilmember Mary Lupian for being there and stood by me, myself, my family, for retaliatory evictions. We all know the infamous Target Storage Heap, right? We know that slumlord, which is still operating in Rochester. Sure, those are the landlords we're talking about in Rochester, okay? So, City Council, today is November 14th. We're about to have Thanksgiving. Christmas is, right? Let's give our children from City Council a Christmas gift that I can't pay for. A Christmas gift that we cannot put in a box under the Christmas tree. Give them a Christmas gift, Councilmember Mitch Gruber and the rest of you, your attention by saying yes this month to the strongest version of good cause possible, allowed under New York State law, I remind you, by Governor Hochul, which also stands for New York against now this guy, Donald Trump, that got elected in office. We also need you guys to stand for Rochesterians. Because what this guy elected into Washington is no good for Rochester.
No.
So you need to stand up and we know you can. Thank you for the anti-violence seminar. I had to miss it for some WFP stuff, but I'm sure I've heard great reports about it. I'm going to talk to you about that. I love the work you're doing. But please, guys, please, do it for the children. Christmas is coming. He said that a hot water heater is getting $700. I don't know where the heck he's getting it from, but I just installed a hot water heater that costs us $120 at Home Depot. Here's your petition for good cause.
Brian is followed by Maggie Kane.
Hello, members of council. My name is Brian Goode. I'm a pretty normal guy. My family currently lives in Henrietta. I've worked for Paychex for 22 years. My wife and I are local housing providers. We own 7 properties in the city. We take pride in updating worn-down properties while still keeping the rents affordable. 4 of those properties need significant work to get their proper certificate of occupancy standards. They all had existing tenants when we purchased, and we were able to speak to them before we purchased the property, get a sense from them of what they like and what they need to be improved. Each of those individuals shared they would mind paying a bit more for agreed upon improvements. Many of their lease amounts were grandfathered in because they lived there for so long, but I was able to get a quick assessment of what work was needed and find out from them if paying an extra X dollars per month would be feasible. And each time we've been able to work out a figure that worked out for both parties. One of the properties on Overlock had 3 cases of violations when I purchased the property, and the first time the inspector came out, it was pretty scary. The costs necessary to update were expensive. I'm not talking fancy bathrooms or kitchen cabinets or countertops. I'm talking new roof, gutters, soffit, and that's before we get inside. $25,000. My point being, those repairs are necessary for a safe living environment. When someone's paying $800 per month for a 3-bed, 2-bath that needs $25,000 in updates, they're usually willing to pay an extra $42, but that will not go far enough toward those improvements. I feel it's important to be able to improve properties and make them safe and livable. And I take pride in that work, but there needs to be an ability for tenants and providers to come to mutual solutions without requiring a complicated time or consuming process to approve something that both parties have already agreed upon. Many of the tenants I speak with don't want to buy their own property due to the risk of unforeseen repairs and expenses. They're currently paying well below market rents and are willing to pay a bit more, but not more than $600 to get something brand new and fancy. They all think that these will feel trapped between unsafe housing and unaffordable housing. I think we can do that.
evening, City Council. Last month, we had a very successful protest rally to show you and the rest of the community and the mayor how much people actually do care about the animals in this community. This is a quote from President Miguel Melendez after Channel 8 interviewed him. I support all the frontline staff and volunteers at Verona Street Shelter. It is my hope we can come together to find a sustainable path forward. Well, it's been 3.5 years and still no path forward. If you truly support the frontline staff and volunteers, please do something tangible to solve the lack of a full-time or even part-time vet. The shelter's been without a full-time vet since April, 7 months. Animals released, adopted without spay or neutering, adding to the backyard breeding and constant cycle of dumping of dogs. How can you help us? Waive the city residency requirement for the vet position. Shirley Green is constantly using the lack of vet shortage to make excuses. You are greatly limiting the pool of vets who may want to apply but can't or not able to live in the city. This job has been posted since March with no qualified applicants. So I also want to let you know that the vet's salary, $80,000 to $100,000, might seem competitive, but I know the former vet whose salary worked long hours, overtime, and was never paid for it. Now Shirley Green is actually looking for a part-time vet because we can't find a full-time vet, and that salary is not competitive either. So all I'm asking you is to continue requiring the city residency, continues to look like the city, and the mayor really don't want to fill the job. If you want to start a path forward, get rid of the city residency for the shelter vet position. Thank you.
She's followed by Lori Carr.
Hello, good evening. My name is Barbara Rubino. I'm here to address the lack of enforcement of laws in the city of Rochester. I was born and raised here in Rochester, New York. Right now I'm a part-time resident, homeowner, and taxpayer. The city is in a disarray. Public servants have a responsibility to enforce the laws in Rochester. Every day I see laws broken and crimes committed every single day. There has to be consequences to people's bad behavior. People are trashing and littering out cars, on foot, all over. That is a visual for you all to see. That's just 8 days worth of garbage I picked up just in my little neighborhood. It's far worse in other neighborhoods. People are dumping on dead-end streets, near expressways, tires, clothing, junk, etc. People are speeding down side streets and main drags and on the expressway, I might add. Driving while smoking weed, that is a DUI. Abandoned boarded-up houses, they're used as drug dens. Open lots full of trash, litter, and garbage. Blowing through stop signs, dogs unleashed, roaming around. People walking dogs, unleashed. ATVs, dirt bikes. Noise ordinance not enforced. Loitering at stores. Public urination. Broken glass everywhere. Stop wasting our taxpayers' money on programs that aren't working. These issues are fixable, and I have solutions. You need to put up more signage that trash and litter is against the law. Create a task force to go out and cite people for the trashing, littering, motor vehicle infractions, etc. We need PSAs on the radio and TV and billboards to crack down on various laws being broken. Fines and warnings will be issued. Go after negligent and residential business owners for the trash and litter on unkept properties. In mailers, do inserts stating we have laws that we need to abide by. Rochester deserves better. Doing nothing is unacceptable. Thank you.
Lori Carr is followed by Lisa Adams.
Pick up every single day. Every day I'm picking this up. Unacceptable.
Good evening, everybody. Hello again. I work as a social worker, and I see more homeless people more than ever before on our wonderful streets of Rochester. That's due to unaffordable rents. They're not all druggies. There's disabled people. There's all kinds of people I'm meeting. Many had to dump their animals in the streets because of this also, so there's no access for homeless people, to take their pets to a shelter or anything. So we got animals roaming around, homeless people that have no place to go. It's all because we're letting all these rich developers come to our city and destroy it. And we do need rent control. Why is this not happening? Why are we here every month talking about the same thing? Keep talking about the same thing over and over and over. I don't understand why. This is crazy. Is it because the mayor has control over you? Is he bullying you guys? Is he intimidating you? Is that what's going on? Because you have power. Nobody can fire you. You are elected, right? So why are you scared of this guy? I don't know. He says that it costs $37 million for a shelter, which is a lie, because China and Greece have built animal shelters for $1 million. But you can give developers $1 million, but you can't give us $1 million. What is going on here? You're supposed to represent us, the people. Okay, well, why is that not going on? I would like to know. A lot of people here would like to know. The mayor doesn't run the city. I don't know what he's doing. I think he's destroying the city, because why is he in the pockets of developers? I would like to know this. Every mayor we've had has always been for the rich and the developers here in Rochester. All I keep seeing is all these people coming from all over. I meet them, California, wherever they're from. They're all coming here because we have water, we have this and that. And it's okay for them because they can afford $1,500, $2,000 for rent, because, they're all big shots. But us Rochester people, we don't have any money. So please stop listening to the mayor. Thank you.
Asa Adams is followed by Michael Lord.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Little button.
Let's recess, Judge.
Reset.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I guess we're back here with one motion. Seems like Mr. Rogers show here. But I'm here to say thank you guys for giving Good Cause a second chance. Rochester is a very unique town. And we have to have the very best, because Rochester sits off the freeway for a reason. It was always protected from the country then. And now we have to protect Rochester one more again from developers. Like the guy sat there and said, I just looked it up. He's right. Home Depot do got a water tank for under $400. But get this thing right. But along with this, because I'm not going to need all my time, we need to find a directory for landlords to put their property in our control of space. We need rent control along with it. Because I seen my neighbor, and I had to go down to her landlord wrote from $600 to $1,200 in a month. I was like, I pay things like that. But we need to get rent control definitely controlled. Remember, Rochester is a very unique town. And it needs very unique people to run it. And it needs very unique laws to control the inevitable. Rochester is the center of the whole thing that's going to happen in this country. So if we're going to set an example, let's make sure it's the right one. Because if we don't, whoever runs this country is going to use Rochester for an example to spread it across. I know a couple of y'all know the history of Rochester. Whatever goes on here usually spread across the nation. This is an infectious problem here. So we got to clean it up and clean it up correctly. Yeah. Good night, everyone.
It's followed by Tiara Grayson.
Good evening, Council. Michael Lord, representing Voiceless of Verona Street. I, along with many other members of our group, am still fighting for the basic needs for our city animal shelter. primarily the need for a vet. Tonight I'd like to speak directly to council and ask for your full attention. Please.
You can get upset all you want.
Would you be quiet in the back, please? You see, Voices of Verona and its supporters believe that you can actually do something to help our cause. And we're not asking for funding tonight. We are asking Council President Melendez, who is unfortunately not here, to keep his word and act on it. Allow me to back up to the evening of October 22nd, when we, along with 70 other concerned citizens, I'm speaking to overcome the gentleman in the back, held a rally outside this very building. It was not just well attended, but had media coverage from multiple sources. Following the rally, WROC asked the council for a comment. I'd like to read you that response. Headline: City Council responds to Animal Rights Rally. I quote, "I support all of the frontline staff and volunteers at Verona Shelter. It is my hope that we can come together to find a sustainable path forward." Miguel Melendez, City Council President, City of Rochester. He is not here to hear this, so Councilmember Lightfoot, I will ask you, please, our ask is simple tonight. Remove the requirement that applicants for the job of a new vet at our city shelter must be a city resident. Please remove that requirement to open up the pool of candidates that will apply to be a vet. This rule is simply outdated, unnecessary, and a roadblock to fill in the position. We know you have the power to make this change. These signs will tell you. Now, please act on this. You have the power to make a sustainable path forward.
It's followed by J. Coffee. Oh.
You all heard the demands of the people. I'm just here to back them up. Housing is an issue among several other issues, and it's not just directly attached to Rochester. It's a national issue. I mean, you have people literally quarreling over what they believe are depleted resources, and the majority of the people that are quarreling, they all make up the disenfranchised groups. You have poor white people, you have immigrants, black folk, Latinos. I mean, you have Asians, you have people quarreling over stuff, and they're blaming one another when we don't even have the power over any of that. You guys do, the ones that we elect. And so I just want to piggyback off the people when it comes to housing and the other issues that exist, not only in Rochester, but nationally. And to add to the eviction clause, when you look around Rochester, and I encourage y'all, because I don't know how often y'all look around, but when you go around the city of Rochester, you see that there's a lot of these building structures that are supposed to be for residential access. They're boarded up, and then the ones that aren't boarded up, they're torn down completely, and they're turned into empty lots with sticks just sitting up there. But then you have people sitting here saying that their housing is not accessible. We're running out of housing. I don't understand how Rochester is full of a bunch of not only residential buildings, but also commercial buildings that are just sitting there taking up space. And so I encourage y'all to utilize the discernment from Jesus Christ himself and take heed to what the people are saying. Because again, I will remind you, what you do to the least of them, you do to our Father. And the Bible says that he will hold you accountable for all your deeds, good and bad. So do your job or be removed.
Before I make my way to the podium, I want everybody to have hope in your neighbor. You know, like they say in church, look to your neighbor, have hope. 2 days ago was my father's 12-year death anniversary. He died on his birthday, 11/12/2012, tased to death by the police department in Lakeland, Florida. So this is dedicated to him. And my Aunt Joy Powell, that is in prison right now, fighting clemency due to the RPD that put a cold case murder on her, who was a community activist, and over 50 news articles for her activism in the 90s, who lost 2 sons, including her son that was shot away 30 times 4 years ago. The penitentiary is packed and it's full of black. Dear America, land of the free, I got news for you. You owe child support. For the backdoor entrance folks
in all the shades of the color. Reparations for those who didn't pass the lottery and paper bag test practice. Shout out to Kamala. What is she? No one asked the white man, what is he? You can't erase history. You have failed many black and brown families. Never given my fathers, grandfathers a cut from their enslaved Mexican job labor, aka mega verbiage, mega, making America godly again, was burning us alive, watching us hang from trees in front of your got to protect from the agenda children, not ungodly enough. Huh, Christian, please. The holy book, the only N-word could only read. Gag order for your law and order. Slave patrol is the original word. Original criminals dressed in blue in all white suits. Far from pure and clean. No protection for those who look like me. It's time to remove your dirty gloves. It's time to hidden truth that is freeing me. Born here but still a slave. Skin dipped in Jim Crow pain. New age forms of genocide, medical apartheid, and experimental exploitation for your pharmaceutical astronomical gains.
And they asked me to do something. So I'm here to support them, and I'm going to let her speak.
Hi. My name is Harlan, and I am scared because last week, with the presidential election and Trump winning, we are scared because the rent's going up. We are scared because we want you to listen to us. We need your support. The children had a town hall meeting. We will be. And we would like to see you there to come and listen to us. My mom is going to help us. My brother is going to pass out invitations to you so you can know when the meeting is. And I'm afraid with President-elect Trump, the ADA law is going to be gone.
Okay, Arlen's spot, was that Arlen? Okay, thank you. Devontae Lathan? Is Devontae here? Gary Henry? Is followed by Wendy Weisberg.
Hi, I hope everyone can hear me. My name is Gary Henry, and my wife and I live in the neighborhood in the City of Rochester. Council members, we need your help. I'm deeply concerned about the proposed sale of plans for the brownfield 666 Driving Park Avenue. There are three major concerns I want to address. Environmental. This proposal does not properly address the environmental issues put around. Instead, planning to use a cap to cover up the existing issues left by the project. No plan for complete remediation. Properly addressing these issues will allow for plans which will benefit the community. Economic. This type of business, which is a storage facility, will not bring much economic benefit to the area itself. After the initial set down of the storage units themselves, which must exclude construction because of the brownfield's condition, the business would only require up to a single or maybe 2 or 3 more people to manage basic operations. Additionally, it does not provide the services that the community needs. Our community needs small businesses to provide services to strengthen the area, not a storage unit that disrupts the quality of life hire such small number of people to manage. Residential. This site is bordered with 2 areas for residential housing. An increase in vehicle traffic, noise, and visual of looking at these containers and the contractor parking lots will have an adverse effect on the quality of life, making it difficult to maintain a stable neighbourhood and possibly cause current owners to leave. My call to action is this: investigate our environmental concerns. Have the pond company address these in the same way other sites in the city, such as Bex and Mobile in the southwest quadrant have been managed. Provide or consider plans that benefit the community, such as a local park and playground, family housing for this site. Looking forward to hearing back from you. Thank you.
Wendy Walker is followed by Lori Finley.
Hello, Council. My name is Wendy Laceberg, and I run the second-hand dog rescue here in Rochester. Verona Street is our first line of defense for all the animals that are in our city, and it is overcrowded, understaffed, and the people who are in the building are not the problem. It's the lack of support from the mayor, and also not having the supports for the people who are adopting the animals. The animals are going out unvetted, they're going out pregnant. Right now, when I rescue, I have a dog who gave birth to 12 puppies that was from Raz, that was adopted out to somebody who then couldn't keep the dog because it was pregnant and gave birth, and the landlord refused to keep the dog in the home. So now we have a dog who has given birth, has these dogs who are not wanted because of the pit bull, and pit bulls are great dogs, but there's overabundance of them. One of the problems too is the fact that people are able to adopt these dogs out free of charge from the shelter without any supports in place. So I propose that anyone who gets a free dog from the shelter, either Verona, which is what the city is currently covering, needs to complete a course that about responsible pet ownership, how to keep a dog, and how to incorporate a dog into their home without having returns. Returns are a huge issue. Returns are what is causing this program to just completely crumble. And the fact that Verona does not take back their returns, it puts the pressure on me as a rescue to take those dogs in. A proposal of a agenda, what you can do, and I have people who are willing to do a computer program to have it be done so anybody can get any type of data right. So they don't have to go.
Lori Finley is followed by Kevin Locker.
Good evening, City Council. My name is Lori Finley, and I'm a lifetime resident of Rochester. I represent Voices of Verona Street behind me, and we've been coming to speak to you for 3 years. 3. When will City Council members listen to us? When will Mayor Evans listen to us? And when will Shirley Green listen to us? You guys don't seem to care about the city shelter. Dogs are dumped every day on the streets. Most of them are pit bulls. 10 to 12 are picked up every couple of days. We see the posts on Facebook. They picked up 10, 12, 15 pitties. They're lost, they're dumped, they're abandoned, they're abused. Some will be euthanized due to behavioral issues. They don't have behavioral issues. Their behavioral issues are they are in a small, noisy, crowded shelter. And it's not their fault. There's not enough employees to care for them, to take them out for walks. There's no vets to treat them. And then they are labeled behavioral issues and euthanized. Give me 1 second.
That's not right.
Day after day on Facebook, rescue organizations are trying to save another dog from horrible situation. When will it stop? When will you and Shirley Green to make our shelter priority? When will you allocate money to make improvements and hire staff? When will you care about the cats and dogs suffering on our city streets? Please do something. Do anything. Make improvements. Hire some people. Do what you're here to do and help the people and the animals of Rochester. Thank you.
Kevin Lockhart is followed by Tim Eplin.
Good evening. I just want to make a comment because we are soon approaching the 200-year bicentennial mark of Rochester. And I think as a city, my concern is that our legacy is going to be remembered not as a culture of innovation or genius or creation or invention, but rather as a society that allowed our government to exploit the taxpayers of Rochester, who are county taxpayers, and there's a desperate need to elect positions in the Board of Elections for the city of Rochester. 200,000 residents, 7 seats here, 7 seats on the Board of Education. It's not enough. The government of Rochester is a government by the government for the government. Most of the positions are appointed. So you have as many elected officers here as the village of Webster does, and the village of Webster has 5,000 people. And then they have a town. So there's a huge deficiency in the number of elected offices available to Rochester city residents in the Board of Elections. And it's been that way for 190 years, and I don't know how else we imagined it was going to turn out except for total catastrophe. But, this isn't done by accident. It's done on purpose. It's all mapped out, actually, by the Pan-Hellenic Council, the Cormoros firm, the Zoning Alignment Project Commission. Their 15-year plan includes segregated ghettos where nobody has a voice in government. The central school district, a centralized government is dangerous. We see that it's dangerous. We see that it doesn't benefit the students in the school districts, and every day the people have to suffer under the centralized government. So what I want to do is decentralize this government and give a voice back to the people. Thanks.
Tim Eplin is followed by Dan Pezzolini.
My name is Kim Eklund. I moved here to Rochester, New York in 2021. I'm from Columbus, Ohio, where I was involved in mostly cat and rabbit rescue for about 10 years, and I currently serve on the board of directors of the Ohio House Rabbit Rescue. And since moved to Rochester, I've started volunteering at a cat shelter. In my time as an animal advocate, I've become very aware of humans' failure to protect companion animals. The same companion animals that would not be here if not for humans themselves. This makes them our responsibility. These beings deserve, at the very least, food, shelter, love and companionship, and most importantly, vet care, which the residents of the Verona Street Shelter are not provided. The city's homeless and abandoned animal population is a code red. It's an emergency. And the first thing you do in an emergency is stop the bleeding. We are here to ask you today to take the first steps in stopping the bleeding by getting rid of the city residency requirement for a shelter vet and increase the salary to a competitive rate. Verona Street has to stop adopting out unaltered pets. It's just continuing the cycle. They also need to address the health concerns of otherwise highly adoptable pets and get them into homes. As an animal advocate, like me and people here with me today, we do everything we can to help. We volunteer, we foster, we adopt, we advocate. But we need your help. We need you to do something. I'd also like to ask City Council, the mayor, and the mayor's office to consider volunteering fosters for Verona Street Shelter. I'm asking you to consider adopting animals from Verona these leaders that lead by example.
Your time is
All
up.
know it takes a village. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anti-poverty campaign project. Certainly the poverty in New York State. I think we experience poverty in many ways. Access to nutrition, affordable food, and access to family living wage jobs. Many of our community members suffer. This is action in New York is supporting 2 bills that step forward in addressing the underlying issues of food poverty. First, we are sponsoring mothers in the King's bill, the milk bill. This legislation provides pregnant mothers and newborn infants with a income for purposes of supplementary nutrition. The first 3 months of a mother's pregnancy and for 18 months after the child is born. What Johnson reports in Rochester, dying at twice the rate of babies around the country. By getting direct tax payments from mothers, this bill recognizes that parents who have the resources will invest in their children's health. It also needs to address the reality that the infant mortality rate for women of color is far greater than that of white women, much of which is a result of lack of resources and financial security. The second bill that we are sponsoring is the Gate Money Bill, which can build a safer New York and save money. This legislation authorizes 6-month stipend, $40 to release incarcerated workers to support their transition back into society and would mitigate recidivism and ensure public safety and security for the community. Currently in New York State, upon release from prison, people are given $40 and a bus ticket to start a new life. It is well established that recidivism rates often lack of financial resources and monetary security to adjust back into society. I would like the council to have any political capital or influence in the state legislature, please use that to get these bills through. We have the representatives from Brooklyn County. They have supported the milk bill, and we are looking for more support for the Gate Money bill. Thank you.
Elizabeth and Rick.
The key is a reminder of the number of people that is affected by non-action. From June to now, 211 people have lost their house. One of the things we want to see is people, families in homes for the Christmas holiday. We need to see families in home. Whether it's around, well, it's here. And we need good cause eviction and protection for parents in our community. My hope is that you would do it in November. This is what we asked. We've been waiting for 6 months. We need this. The community has asked. We have a list of 25 organizations that signed on to good cause. We have a list of 400 names that have signed on in support of good cause. Now it's up to you to act. It's up to you to change the numbers. It's up to you to protect more folks rather than the 10 units. Protect 127,000 people in the Rochester community. 127,000. So we're asking you to pass good cause, make the amendment in November, and vote on it by November 26th. So we're asking City Council to protect 127,000 people. And you have the power to do this. You're the balance in the scale. You're the balance for the people, because that's why we elected you. And we hope you do that for the people in this community.
All right, thank you all for your comments on tonight. We have reached the end of our speaker council session. I want to thank all
Huh? Oh, you can just click the little mute button.